Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Business Booster, which is Tuesday, the 15th of April. And tonight is all about the compensation plan. On the back of momentum, we had a fantastic momentum couple of events. First off in Adelaide, then Sydney, then we finished up in Brisbane last Saturday, where Karen, our lovely co-host, I would say, or contributor, our main contributor actually, really, to our events, had finalized her training details, which hopefully she will go over a few of those details tonight for everyone who wasn't able to, of course, make Brisbane momentum. But on the back of all of that, I wanted to make it a night where if you had any questions, no matter how small, how big, on the compensation plan and how possibly best it may be to build, or when you bring someone in, what do you look at when you want to place them somewhere within your business? I wanted to make tonight all about that, the very beginning of you getting started on where you need to start placing people. And I'm going to be calling on a few of our leaders, being Colleen. Welcome, Colleen. Thank you for joining us. So Colleen and Karen and Robin, if you can jump in whenever you feel like, if we do have questions about that kind of stuff, and just so I can get different ideas from different people, because everyone runs their business completely different. And it's fine however you want to do your business, that's completely up to you. But I thought, given the fact that we are going along the lines of sharing amongst our community now, which I love, I want more of that, basically. I want all of us to share on how you build, how you create your teams, all that kind of stuff. So basically, everyone come off mute. I want your input for tonight. I don't have any slides for you. It's just a more of a what questions do you have?
I've got a question.
Yeah, of course.
Given the recent changes in the comp plan, like moving the power seller from 1,000 to 2,500.
Yes.
Is anyone changing their strategy for business building based on that?
That's a good question. Karen, have you started altering how you do customer intakes or anything like that?
Well, yes. You know, everyone doesn't have to believe the same as me. But as far as I'm concerned, being blunt as I always am, the 2,500 and then the bigger one are basically now affiliate marketing, in my opinion. Not, you know, for people who are just getting heaps and heaps of people online and doing it that way, which is great, but that's not what I'm doing. Yep. I'm building a network marketing business, so I'm basically only talking about the first two now. Yep. I don't even talk about that one, those two. That's just me, because, you know, I want to focus on building people that are going to help share the message, not just getting lots of customers to get to the 20%. But if people want to do that, that's absolutely fine. You know, they're still helping people. Yeah. It's just I've got a different mode.
To further go along with what you just said, Karen, as well, it is kind of based around that, you know, as they used to call the extra two levels that they increased, they were starting to call it the influencer seller, because it's kind of based around those people that do a lot of online selling, and all they're ever going to get is customers. So this is a bonus, not necessarily directed to them because anyone can earn it, but you will find that it's mostly those people that will earn the higher ranks on that bonus, and then you have, of course, everyone else who is wanting to build a business and create lasting income, really.
Oh, sorry.
I just have to learn how to unmute this phone. I haven't got my IT girl. She's coming from work. I just wanted to say that I agree with Karen. And to me, to build Mannatech, we have to look for the long term and have customers who stay as customers or associates and start building.
Diana, have you actually thought about changing your business model or how you go about?
Oh, well, I used to personally like to achieve 1,000 in my pod.
Yes.
But now I don't see the point, and so I'm spreading the love more.
Spreading that.
Yeah, I can relate to that. It was always it was a big aim. It was a big aim to get to 1,000, so you got the 20%. So I know what you're saying, Diana.
Yeah.
But I'm still thinking, well, if it's still over 1,000, I'm still going to get a lot more, 15%.
Yes.
It's still good, you know.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And it's less stress trying to get to the 1,000. So
Yeah,
that's the way I'm looking at it too.
Yeah. Rather than build in my pot, I might, just, as I say, spread it out more and be focusing more. Not that I wasn't before, but I guess it's increased my focus on team 1, team 2, team 4, I should say.
Yeah, they're great.
For the team development bonus.
Which is on track with what you're saying, Karen, about business building strategy.
Yeah.
We've got. Did you want me to go through or run through the changes of the comp plan for anyone? Those slight updates.
I think so. Yes, please.
Perfect. The major changes to the comp plan. This is one of the awesome updates that they've created, which is your rank up bonus. Previously, we had the rank up bonus, but it was only for presidentials and bronze presidentials. So now we've increased it tenfold, as you can see. And it now starts at gold executive director. The way that this works is that you'll see the bold amount of $2,500 there for the gold executive director, the top line. That is the total amount that you can earn with the rank up bonus, but it gets paid in 2 lump sums. Okay, so when you reach gold executive director for the very first time, so you can't have reached it before, from the 1st of January 2022, you wouldn't have been able to, or if you haven't reached gold executive director since then, but you may have previously, that's fine. But if you haven't reached it since the 1st of Jan 22, then you are in line, or you're in the running to be able to receive this payment. So as I was saying, it's done in 2 lump sums. So the first time that you reach gold executive director, you'll get the first payment of $1,250. And then you have to maintain it through 2 more times. You have to maintain it another 2 occasions or 2 months within a 6-month period. So the 6 months starts from the first month that you reach that level. So if I reached it in March, I have another 5 months after March to reach it another 2 times. So it's 6 months in total that you have to reach it 3 times. And then on that 3rd occasion that you reach it, you'll get the second payment of $1,250. So then that would total your $2,500. Okay. For presidential, you have a maximum amount of $5,000 that you can earn. Bronze is $8,300, and these are all the Australian amounts. So these are the amounts that you could earn if you reside in Australia. The second slide here is all the New Zealand amounts. So for gold executive director, reaching it the first time for someone who resides in New Zealand, you can earn a total of $2,800. Again, split over 2 payments. The first one when you reach it the first time, and the second when you reach it the 3rd time in the 6-month period. And that is $1,400 on each of those occasions. And then the 3rd slide here is the Singaporean amounts. And as you can see, they are the same amounts as Australia. Okay, so Australia and Singapore, we have the same dollar amount on paper, but it's Singaporean dollars and Australian dollars. Okay. Any questions around that?
It's good.
Very well explained, I thought.
Well, but a lot better than the first time I tried to do it, that's for sure. So we have, of course, as you know, the customer activity requirements now. So this starts as of executive director. So once you reach executive director, you now need a minimum of 2 customers as well as your 2 legs. You now need 2 customers and a total PPV of 250. So as you know, previously it was just 150 for all of our ranks or leadership levels. Now we've put the requirement in, or upped it a little bit. And now that I say all this, don't think that you won't earn commissions if you don't meet this requirement. So this is just a requirement to get or to unlock extra levels on commissions. Okay, so you will still get paid if you don't have your 2 customers and you don't meet the 250 ppv. However, you do need the minimum requirement, which is your 2 active legs and 150 ppv. So that is a set in stone that can't alter. That has to be something that you reach every month. But to unlock certain levels or extra levels on the uni level, as well as the infinity bonus, you need to have this extra requirement. So it's a minimum of 2 active customers and 250 ppv for executives and above. And then once you get to presidential, director and above, you need still your 2 active customers, but now you need 500 ppv to unlock those extra levels. Okay. Is that making
Very
sense?
good.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. And what's
so
an
please stop
active
me.
customer?
Sorry, an active customer is a customer with a 50-point order. 50, a minimum of 50 points.
Okay.
Or PV, I should say.
Yeah, PV.
So this is just that again. And so this is just outlining what you currently get as a leader on the uni level bonus. And then as you can see, when you get to executive, which is this first green one, level 5 has this little asterisk. This is the added extra level that you'll get if you meet that new minimum requirement. So it's the 2, if you've got the 2 customers and the minimum of 250 ppv, you'll earn on level 5 for executive.
So can I ask a question?
Yes.
So that minimum of having to have 250 PV on 0 level, does that include your customers, your order?
Yes, of course. Yes. Yep. So it's 250 ppv, which is you and your customers. Yep.
Okay.
When you get to silver executive, as you can see, the asterisk is next to the level 5 and level 6. So again, at silver executive, you'll earn the 8% on level 1, 2, and 3, and the 6% on level 4. Now, if you had the 2 customers and the minimum requirement of the 250 ppv, then also gets levels 5, which is 5%, and levels 6 at 4%. Okay. And again, as it goes up, those 2, it's only ever really the bottom 2 levels that you earn if you have the minimum requirement. Yeah. Any questions on that one?
No, that's good.
Perfect. So the additional customer activity on your what is this? The check match bonus. So from silver executive, you start earning the check match bonus. And then at silver presidential, if you have the extra minimum requirement of 2 active customers and the 500 ppv, you'll earn on generation 5. But you, like I said, you still earn on the generations before that.
Okay.
Okay. So this is where we come into the power seller bonus, which we have just discussed a little bit about. And as most of you know, the power 10, power 15, there is no change there, other than now we allow any brand new people as of March 1st this year. If you are a brand new associate just enrolled, you only have to have the 1 customer to start earning power 10 and the 200 ppv, of course. But
That's
you
fantastic.
only have to have 1 customer for the first 6 months, and you'll earn 10% on that total amount of you and your customer, as long as it's over the 200 ppv, sorry. And then once that 6 months is up, you will need to have that second customer to continue earning that power 10 bonus. All right.
But you could still earn 15% with 1 customer too, if you had 500.
I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure it's only power 10 that we have that leeway for.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's only power 10. Once you have over 500 ppv, you'll want to have a second customer. Power 15 is exactly the same as what it was. So 2 customers, 500 ppv or more, you will earn the 15%. Then here is where the change has occurred. So for power 20, you need 4 active customers, and you need a minimum of 2,500 ppv, and you'll earn the 20% on the total amount, or the subtotal, I should say, the subtotal of what those orders come to. And then we have power 25. So ignore the influencer words there, but power 25 and power 30. again, you can see we need a lot more customers for these and a lot more PPV. So Power 25 is 5,000 PPV all up. And then you also need the 10 active customers. So it's 10 customers, all with a minimum of 50-point orders. And then you can earn the 25% on that, on the subtotal of those orders combined. The Power 30, again, is, well, sorry, not again, but the Power 30 is at 10,000 PPV and a total of 20 active customers. And you can earn 30% on the subtotal of all of that. Now, I'm probably going to start confusing people here. We understand, so what they have decided with the Power 25 and Power 30, as you all know, you get a first order bonus of 20% when you bring someone brand new in. And so with those two Power bonuses, because it's over the 20% mark that you would receive with the first order bonus, we are still looking at that person being combining in your customer base. So even if it's the first month that you've brought them in, the total points or point value of their order will, as we all know, it kind of it goes along to you. It becomes your total PPV. That's all still counted. And if you were to earn the Power 25, we then pay you an extra 5% on their already 20% that you're getting from them. Okay, so that's how we make up the 25% for brand new people, like someone that you've just brought in. Again, same scenario. Sorry?
Complex.
It is complex, yes.
This is a good thing they've got computers.
Yes, and programs that do it all for you. And again, for the 30%, for the Power 30, it's the same scenario. If you brought someone in that month and they're counted towards your total PPV, and you've got they help you get over that 10,000 mark, then you'd earn an extra 10% on what you're already getting from them, which is the 20% first order bonus.
Yep. At the risk of complicating it even further, isn't it true from Power 20 up that it's actually paid on the CV and not the total dollar amount? Sorry, you probably didn't want me to bring that up. But but it's still for Power 10 and Power 15, it's still on the full amount.
And the Power 30, Power 20, sorry. The first three are still all on the subtotal of the order amounts.
Oh, right. Okay, good.
So the first three are exactly the same. It's only when you get to the Power 25 and Power 30 that it's paid on CV.
Okay.
Would anyone like me to explain what CV is?
Yes, please. Because you said dollar amount and then you said CV. Does it mean the same thing?
So commissionable volume is a set value associated with each Mannatech product or bundle. So it's along the lines of the PV for that product or bundle. So this value is used to calculate commissions across our global compensation plan, where we do business in multiple currencies. Generally, commissionable volume will vary up to 75% of the associate preferred customer price. So it's roughly 75% of the value or the order amount. Okay, so that's commissionable volume.
Yeah, whereas up to Power 20, you get a 20%
on
of
the
the total dollar value.
Yeah, so we say subtotal because we minus the shipping and any taxes, and then it's based on that amount. Is there any questions over those changes or updates to the compensation plan that anyone has? Chris, have you got a question?
So, your customers are included in your leg one, aren't they?
No, it's on your zero level. So you've got to think about, Karen explains this quite well, but you've got to think about you and your customers sitting on the one level, all in a line, like a ducks in a line. So, and when we did the how it all works presentations with Karen, she brought up the term zero level, which is a great way to think about it, because when you look at your tree view and everything, it talks about level 1 and level 2 and all that kind of stuff. So thinking about you and your customers on zero level is a great way to look at it.
You really only have to think of 2 levels, because you know, in the past with different compensation plans, we had different ways of structuring, but the best with this one is every single customer ends up on 0 level, the same level as your order, and every associate you enroll should be on level 1. So they're the only 2 levels you're really personally putting people into. And then the people on level 1, when they enroll people, customers, they're on their level, which is their 0 level, and their associates are on going to be
Level
your
1.
level 2.
Yeah.
You get that, Chris?
Yes.
Sure.
But what it is that, like, I've got a very big leg and I've been trying to build other legs, and the customers that come and go. So therefore my business is not building. Yeah.
So, but you got to remember that a customer won't be a leg. Customer is never a leg.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Well,
So
I know what Chris is referring to, because in the past, you know, everybody just went into a leg, and even though they were officially associates, they're really only customers. They're not business builders. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
yeah.
but you know, that's what I've been doing, going back to some of those. We did that today with another one, and she's a customer and has had great results. And this was my daughter did this, and she's been trying to talk to people, and she actually, when Avalon went to do her order today, she said, oh, I'm going to have to cut my order back because I've been talking to heaps of people, but nobody wants to take any notice because they don't like network marketing. So Avalon said to her, sort of realized that her reason for cutting it back was because of money. You know, she gets the whole health thing and she's had great results. So Avalon said, well, what if you're talking to other people? Obviously, the reason she was doing that was to try and get some money. So now she's going to upgrade to an associate and start doing business training.
Oh,
when
fantastic.
Avalon suggested that to her, well, if you'd like to earn some money, do you want to be trained? Oh, I'd love to be. This is a new question. We've never asked this before. It's so funny. So I've done it to another person tonight, and they said, oh, I'd love to, you know, be trained. People are just want to be trained. So it's like, it's obvious. I mean, everybody trains. Chris, you trained to be a nurse, you know, you train to do anything, but we're not training people. Well, we haven't been. I'm not judging. Maybe some of you have been good at that, but I haven't. It was always sort of, you know, a bit of a hit and miss, do a 3-way call, but not really training. So now we've got a training program, you know, and there's 2 people today I've spoken to. They're all excited about it, and one's booked in for Good Friday. One of my associates. She is an associate, been going to do it forever, but never got started. And I said, well, we've got a training program now. Would you like? Oh, yes. You know, I'd like to be earning some extra money and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
May I ask a question, Karen?
Of course.
Have you ever considered that we need a training manual? I've asked Mannatech for 20 years that we should have a little training manual, just like we had when I was homeschooling my children.
Yeah, well,
and that way we can start to use that with our people and go through it step by step by step. And I believe that we basically need a training manual.
Well, Robin, it does actually exist. On Saturday, Sinead and Drew gave it to me because it's outdated. We did have one, a success one, and they've asked me, I hope I'm allowed to say this, they've asked me to have a look through it and see what's relevant and what's rubbish or outdated, I should say, outdated, and which I've been doing. And it starts off really great, just similar to what I did on Saturday, you know, all about your why as the start. That's really great. But then some of it's just outdated and the products are outdated. So the whole point is we're working towards a manual, aren't we, Drew?
Yes.
That's the plan. So,
good, thank you.
I mean,
we want to put something that, you can have in your hand to go through with a brand new prospect or a new associate and hopefully be the simple version of everything. Like, you know, the 1, 2, 3, you do the 1, 2, and 3, and you get to this. Like, hopefully we can make it as simple as possible for anyone to be able to pick up and just
step by step. We need step by step.
Yeah.
Correct.
So,
yeah.
you know, these notes I've done are sort of that, but it's just a beginner's one. But I want to refine it. I agree with you, Robin. I sort of, after doing every momentum, it became clearer in my head. And I see now we really need step 1. Like in the booklet, it's talking about, you know, getting them to set a goal for a year's time. Well, that's not something I'd discuss with a new associate. You know, I'd just be. So we need to really break it up into steps, I feel, as they progress. You know, there'll be a different vision to get to silver and gold, and then there's a different vision to get to director and executive, and then there'll be a different vision to get to silver executive and gold executive. So we need to break it up and progress them as they grow.
Sorry, Andrew, will that training manual be part of the business pack when they enrolled? Because not everybody's enroller is very involved in
so
carrying
it won't necessarily be a physical book, but it'll be definitely an online book and something in the library that people will be able to download and print. There is talks of making it a physical book. That will probably be a purchase thing, possibly. This is the other side of, you know, when we make something published or we publish a book or something like that, get something printed, there's either a lot of stock of it that doesn't go anywhere and we end up chucking, or it costs too much. So that's the reason why from word go we'll make it available online. So it's a flip book online, so because that doesn't cost anything. Okay, we can make that available to everyone. When it gets to a physical version of it, though, we then need to start thinking about, well, how many do we get, or how much do we charge for it, or that kind
good
of
idea.
So,
good idea.
So definitely it'll be available, and we'll make it available to everyone. We're just not sure about a physical touch book at the moment. But
I think that's a much better idea.
Yeah.
And the best part is if you're going to do the step 1s and step 2s and step 3s, you can just forward it online wherever they are. You might have them in another country. You don't want to be, and you can't post it off, you know. You just want the basic principles. Yeah,
definitely. So is that all right to start with, Ilse?
Yes, wonderful.
Did you want to go over, was there anything else that you wanted to touch base on the training aspect of what you went through on Saturday, Karen?
Well, does anyone want me to sort of just share this bit about offering training?
I think it'll be really beneficial.
I guess the first basic thing is to look at, and this is all I've done, look at associates I've got. Like I did I'll just give you the example. I did a call tonight with a lady who's been she started off as a customer years ago and eventually became an associate, and she's been going to, you know, Gunners, cavalry, going to do something for probably about 3 years now. And, you know, her life has dramatically changed because of the products. You know, I'd love to tell you the story, but probably I shouldn't. So she's just really much more confident. And I just said to her tonight, you know, I said, she said, oh, you know, she always says every call, monthly call, I ring her up. And every time, I'm going to do something, I'm going to get going. And I said, well, you know, would you like to be properly trained, Sue? Yes. It was just like that, you know. Suddenly she wants to get going, she always has, but I haven't really, you know, honed in and shown her how and what to do. So we've booked a Zoom call for a Good Friday morning. She's got Easter off. And so here's what I'll be doing, just to give you an idea. And in the booklet that Sinead and Drew gave me to look at, the old booklet, the first steps were exactly what I had as the first steps, so that was good, which was to establish her why. So when I talked to her on Saturday, I want to know, well, so you want to earn some money, Sue? but why do you want to earn it? You know, what's your plan? And in the notes you get, I wrote a few examples. You know, it may be to pay for their own products. It may be to earn enough to take as much product as they want to need. So if they've been in for a while, that could be a very relevant one, because a lot of people know they need more, but they haven't been able to afford to take as much as they need, right?
Yep.
So that could be a good one. And I think it's good to have these suggestions to talk to them about, and they can just choose the one that suits them.
Yep.
Would you like to earn travel incentives and have lots of fun? You know, that's very relevant to me because I'm off to Manifest and it's always fun, you know. Another one was to earn enough money to cover your rent or your mortgage. That's a big deal. Some people, you know, can't buy enough products because they've got high rents and high mortgages. Another one, earn enough to leave your job if you wanted to. And while you're asking these things, it's sort of, it's opening their mind to
possibilities.
Possibilities.
The possibilities, which they may not have even realised existed.
Yeah.
It's opening up their scope, isn't it? And then another one I had, you might think of some more things, but these are just things I wrote. Earn enough to retire without a pension. So that's a bit of a passion of mine because I'm not on a pension. And that's a big goal for me. I'm not knocking anyone being on a pension, but I had a single parent pension for a while, many years ago, and it was very demeaning, and I just don't want to do it. So that's, you know, that's good for me, and it may appeal to someone else. Because you know, often if you are on a pension, you can't afford to do all the things you want to do. And my parents actually got off the pension with Mannatech. They were on the pension and became presidentials and got off the pension in their 80s. So that was pretty amazing. So it's never too late. And then I had the last one I had was to earn enough to travel the world or Australia. You know, some people might want to just travel around Australia. So it was just, you know, some suggestions. But the main thing is to find out what they want. And as we mentioned a minute ago, with step 1, step 2, step 3, the step 1 may change as time goes on. But you want to know now what they're aiming for. Because if they've been in a long time, like my son, he probably would rather I didn't say this, but he's been in a very long time. He spoke at Brisbane and he was really good, wasn't he?
Yes,
and
very good.
He's decided he wants to be presidential because he's been in a very long time. And he's just made gold director today. So that's exciting. So I can talk on a different level with him because he's got a big goal.
Yes.
Whereas someone else might want to just become a silver associate as soon as. So you've got to be working with them where they're at, you see.
Yes. Yep.
But that is the key. You're working with them. They've suddenly got support and someone who's going to train them what to do. And I didn't say this on Saturday, but I've said it today a few times. And I think this is a key thing. Like I said with Avalon, her customer, who's now going to have business training, she's booked in for, forget what day, it's getting pretty busy. Tomorrow morning.
Yes.
That's right, tomorrow morning. She's been talking to all these people and got all these no's. So she's been secretly, well, not secretly, but in her mind, trying to find belief and earn some money, even though she was only a customer. And instead she'd given up because of all the no's and she was going to reduce her order because she can't afford to buy enough. So this, I think, is the key factor. And I did this with someone else today. I think it's important that if anyone disagrees, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to, you know, be disruptive. I think it's important we tell them not to talk to anyone, not to go rush out. You know, the old network marketing training was, a lot of you will remember that have been around a long time, was to write a list and contact them all. Basically, we blew a lot of them. Because we were inexperienced and not trained and didn't know what to say and didn't do it right. And I was always terrified of doing that. I just never liked that idea because it felt really scary to me to get on the phone and ring all these people, you know, and try and talk them into getting these products or becoming a distributor or whatever the case may be. So I've been saying to them, it's better if you don't say something. So if you meet someone, for instance, so this will be part of the training. If you meet someone who you feel needs the products, you could certainly say that you know something that might help them. It's helped you, but I don't know enough to explain. But there's a lady or a man who's teaching me and training me, and they've been involved with these products for a long time. I could organise a call with them, or you could come on an information call, like I have the Zoom calls, as I told you all about at the trainings. So instead of telling them not to talk about it, not to mention Mannatech, not to mention glyconutrients, that's what you need, you know. Don't do any of that. Just say, I know something that could help, be very low key, and get them onto either a 3-way call or a Zoom call, a product call like the hormone call that I do, which I've told a lot of you about in Adelaide and Sydney and Brisbane, or whatever. So they don't go out as novices and blow all their prospects. Do you think that makes sense?
Absolutely.
Anyway, I won't keep on with that.
Can I just ask a question, Pauline?
Sure.
Do you do this as a one-on-one, or do you wait until you've got a little group of people? I mean, you'll give them the basics and don't talk, but do you get a little, you know, like 2 or 3 newies together, or it's always one-on-one?
No, personally, I think it's a one-on-one job because their why is personal. What they want to do is personal. And, you know, you could have a really keen person and a not so keen person that flattens it. You know, I just think you really need to talk individually, and they need to feel confident that you're going to train them and guide them and work with them and help them in every way. You're their mentor.
Yes.
I mean, there's a mentor bonus. That's why it's called mentor. You know, this is what leadership is about, is training others. That's how we get through the leadership levels, not through having lots of customers. I'm not saying we shouldn't have lots of customers. Customers are great.
At least 2 would be beneficial in the upper ranks.
So developing them, I just think it needs to be individual, Pauline. That's my opinion.
Okay. And would you get to a stage where you could have like a group? Because I have a group of ladies come, but I must say a lot of it is they would much rather have a chit chat. But we always, Judy and I always give them an update. We give them some product knowledge. The other day we actually listened to your call. Was it your call?
Yes.
Yeah, it was your call. We from last year, I think it was actually. And,
okay.
Yeah, and so you know we do always do some business, but they like to have a chit chat.
Look, I think that's great, and we have those calls too. So we have, you know, I have my group calls where we congratulate each other and talk about and discuss ideas. But this is something different. This is an associate who's going to start, and you need to know what they want, basically, and then be ready to guide them according to what they want, but also according to what you know works and what doesn't work, you know, and you may do it differently.
How to work with them.
So I think it's very personal. And then, you know, I mean, as I said to all of you at the different trainings with those hormone calls, I think and the product calls one of the reasons they're so successful is people come on and it's anonymous. You know, they often don't have their camera on, they don't have to be seen, so it's nice and anonymous, but they start to pick up the community feeling at the end when we have questions and chatting around. So, you know, there's a lot of that going to happen. But this is something different. This is basic business
training.
That's it. And you know, you only need 4 presidentials basically to be a platinum presidential. So you don't need to train a lot. You just need to train a lot of people. I mean, you just need to train well.
It's
quality rather than quantity.
Yes.
And that really hit me when I read those notes, which a lot of you got at the trainings of Jeff Allen's, you know, platinum presidential. And he and Jerry, listen to this, Jerry and Ilsa, he enrolled 9 people and 2 of them dropped out, and he became a platinum presidential, and he only enrolled 9. And 2 dropped out.
So all up 7.
So that really inspires me, you know.
It does.
Yes,
So we're
exactly,
looking for quality. We're looking for people who really want to help people. Anyway. Oh yes, I'm supposed to be keeping going, am I?
No. So it's 8 o'clock already. So
oh, okay. Well, I better stop then. But the next step, which is what Drew's done tonight, is to teach the compensation plan. That's the next step. But again, just teach Silver Associate. Just teach Silver Associate, which is so simple, and that they get a $150 bonus. Because really, once anyone learns how to get to Silver Associate, well, the rest is easy, really.
It's just duplication. Yeah.
And again, the step 1 and step 2 that Robin and I discussed before. We just need it in steps. So I better stop now.
Okay, thank you.
But if you want those notes, just email Drew.
Yes. Yep. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, I might wrap this up. Thank you very much for everyone for joining. Is there any other questions before we run? No.
very good.
Lovely.
Thank you all.
Awesome. Have a great night, guys.
Bye.